the Ron and Brian Podcast. Get ready to fill your ears with the latest news, politics, current events, and whatever else we feel like talking about this week. And now, your hosts, Ron and Brian.
And good evening. It is Sunday night. It's 8 o'clock. It's time for episode 196 of the Ron and Brian Podcast. Great to be here. Joined as always by my best friend. He was Josh Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncut Jams. It's Brian. Brian,
Uncut Jams.
How the hell are you tonight, my friend?
Listen, I'm going to tell you one of the things that I have to look forward to, and that list is growing in life. You know, it's not shortening, as
Okay,
you know, I've
good.
gone through phases. Is this hour that I get to spend with you and you alone, undivided attention. It is something I look forward to. It has completely revised my outlook on the weekend. No longer do I suffer the Sunday scaries. No longer am I sitting there worried about it. No, now I look forward to my Sundays. I look forward to my Sunday evenings because I get to spend it with you.
Oh, well, I feel the same way. I hope our listeners out there feel the same way. Should we just get right into it, Brian, with drink of the week?
I was hoping you were going to say yes.
All right.
Drink of the week.
Na zdrowie!
Salud.
Drink of the week.
Prost.
Drink of the week. Drink of the week. Drink of the week.
Brian, what is it that you are drinking this week?
We are looking at what?
That's a very colorful can.
Oh, so colorful. So colorful. But wait till you see the color of the beer. You are looking at Swoon Units by Inner Borough Spirits and Ales. This is a fruited gose, a sour, if you would like to. But look at the color of this beauty. Hold on, let me get away because this is not a Coney Island beer. Look at the color of that bitch.
That's like a Hawaiian punch you got in a glass right there.
I would describe it that it's a ghost ale brewed with berries, marshmallow, and vanilla salt. Flavors of vanilla marshmallow, fruit punch, and lemon zest are going to tie it all together and balance it out with a tart, dare we say, refreshing finish.
Oh, take a sip of that. I do like a nice fruited sour. Be curious to hear how you. Oh, he's going back for a second taste. Just a small sip.
No, I don't taste the marshmallow whatsoever. But all the other flavors are, holy cow, this is good. I'm glad there's a second one that for me to enjoy after this first one. Coming in at 8.0 ABV. Brian will be drunk.
All right. Looking forward to that. You'll be nice and sloppy come after dark. Yes, sir.
What are you working on?
So I am working on one of the OGs from the craft beer world coming out of Brooklyn. It is 6 Point and their Bengali IPA clocking in at a solid, 6.6%. Just loving the color of that. I mean, 6 Point, is there a better Brooklyn brewery than 6 Point, Brian? I ask you.
Yes, absolutely. Coney Island Brewery, way better than 6 Point.
Fair enough. Is that considered a Brooklyn brewery, though?
Coney Island is as Brooklyn as you get. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I have no idea.
If 6 Point wanted to sponsor the show, I would be, if they were able to give us a little taste, just enough for me to wet my beak, a free 6-pack or whatnot, I would be singing their praises. But if you're talking about what is my favorite Brooklyn brewery, I got to go Coney Island.
All right, that's fair. And this is, it's a decent IPA. It's a solid one. I'm working on cleaning up the beer fridge a bit. So I decided to drink that. But hey, it's a good one. I respect your opinion, though.
Yes.
All right. Yes, you look like you're about to say something.
Oh, my back.
Oh, well, maybe that'll be what we talk about next. It's Beef of the Week.
Ron and Brian's Beef of the Week.
Brian, what's bothering you this week?
I woke up this morning and I knew what my beef was going to be.
Okay.
It's something that happened to me during this week that it was like a veil had been lifted.
Okay.
It was, one of those life-shocking moments where you look at people and you look at the world and you can never go back. It's like walking through a looking glass. It's taking the blue pill from Morpheus, or was it the red pill?
One or the other.
I always got it mixed up. Anywho, but my beef was going to be mayonnaise and the use of mayonnaise. This week I saw somebody use mayonnaise on fried calamari in an Italian restaurant. And I said to myself, I am so shooketh, as William Shakespeare would have said. I was so shooketh. I was like, this is my beef of the week. But no, that is not my beef of the week. People using mayonnaise as a dipping sauce, not my beef of the week.
Interesting. So what was able to leapfrog your disdain for mayonnaise dipping?
People who complain about something and then continue to do the same thing that they were complaining about before, having changed nothing.
So is there a specific example that you have in mind?
Funny you mentioned that. A week ago, almost exactly to the minute, I had a very close friend, can almost say best friend, complain to me about Walmart grocery delivery service.
Yes.
I don't know why you're laughing.
No,
this isn't meant to be funny. This is my beef of the week. Take me seriously, damn it. For once in your fucking life, take me seriously, Ronald.
Okay.
So I had a very good friend complain to me. They had placed an order with Walmart grocery service. I don't remember what it was called. It was Walmart Premio or some poor shit like that.
Okay.
You're still smiling, you smug bastard. And sat there and wasted my time complaining about how they had placed an order using this Walmart grocery delivery service and did not receive all the items that they wanted and had paid for. And I remember specifically they were complaining that they were not able to get chicken breasts whole. What they received was a smaller package of chicken tenderloins. And this was their complaint. Lo and behold, today, I see this same person getting a food delivery order from Walmart Premio, whatever it's called.
Right.
And this time, as if they're expecting to have better service, not only do they not receive all the items that they ordered, they didn't receive any of the items they ordered because the delivery person dropped off an order for somebody completely different.
Interesting.
Ironically, they did receive a family pack of chicken breasts. And then I had to watch this person act annoyed that they were that they had received the wrong order. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, how can you complain as something is like the biggest complaint of your week and then turn around and do it all over again?
I mean, I think that's the definition of insanity.
Yes. And that is my beef of the week. People who have the nerve to complain about something and then do nothing to change it and then are shocked later that the thing happens again.
The unmitigated gall of whoever that individual was. Unmitigated.
Ron?
Yes, sir.
What is your beef of the week?
So my beef, and again, we're kind of going back a bit, talking about my beef about the various Reese's products that continue to be rolled out, that they continue to bastardize. And so thanks to loyal listener Janelle, Brian shipped out to me this week the Reese's potato chip Big Cup. So they took the big Reese's peanut butter cup, which not a bad idea. I mean, Reese's peanut butter cups are good. Make them larger, but for whatever reason, they have placed potato chips in this one, and that is supposedly a good idea.
Well, I think it's the introduction of a salty to counterbalance the sweetness of the chocolate. I mean, I think that's the whole
But
point.
the peanut butter has a little bit of saltiness to it already. Would be my contention.
Okay, valid. Now my question to you is, how do you know that you are not going to like them, or better yet, even love them, and consider this your most favorite version of the Reese's family?
I would be very hard pressed to believe that I'm going to love this, but alas, we will not know for certain until after dark. I will not be cracking this container open and trying the Reese's potato chip Big Cup until we get to our after dark, which is at 9:30 this evening, which is exclusive for our Patreon subscribers. So if you are not a Patreon subscriber, if you see at the bottom of the screen, go to ronandbrianpodcast.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, click on Become a Patron. Join at the bronze level or higher. On top of all the swag and every other good thing you get live access to the exclusive After Dark content starting at 9:30 this evening.
For as little as $5 a month, for as much as what would he say, $1,000 for the triple platinum?
For the top of the line, yes.
For the diamond cut prime rib level?
Yep.
So there are different levels. Listen, I've said this before. I will say it again. This podcast will always be free to the masses. Right now, wildly popular in the Ukraine. People are, there's so much bad going on in Ukraine. It's one of the few things that they have going on in their life is that they can watch the Ron and Brian podcast live on YouTube. I imagine over there it's afternoon, maybe Monday afternoon.
I believe so. Early in the morning, their time, perhaps.
They're watching it right now because they need to watch it live.
Right.
And for those people, I just want to announce, and I don't know whether it's okay to announce this, but if you are a Ukrainian citizen currently living in the Ukraine, for the next 30 days, you can sign up for our Patreon for free.
Wow.
Patreon will charge you. Patreon will charge, but we will reimburse you through a Cash App or a PayPal, a Venmo,
a
Zelle. I thought it was
Zelle. Yeah, maybe. So, but you have to be living in.
Yes.
So let's say you are a Ukrainian that has managed to get across the border into Poland or one of the other surrounding countries. You have to actually still physically be in the Ukraine to take advantage of this promotion.
Because at that point, you're no longer living under the fear of being shelled by Putin's army. If you are in the Ukraine, defending your freedoms, if you're in the Ukraine because that is your land and you're not going to leave, you get the Patreon for free. We will reimburse you the cost. Maybe we'll kick a little extra. Maybe I'll throw in a little Ethereum. Maybe I'll throw in some crypto.
Nice. Very nice. All right.
Yes.
Well, that will be coming up again, 9:30 after dark. But in the meantime, back to the show. Brian, shockingly enough, we don't have any COVID stories this week because obviously this country has beat the pandemic. But I still feel it is our obligation to talk about our dead anti-vaxxers.
Sure.
Dead anti-vaxxer of the week.
Brian, if you will, do you have a dead anti-vaxxer of the week that you would like to talk about?
Do I want to do would I like to talk about this? No, this is the segment of the show that I absolutely despise doing. but it's the segment that I feel we must continue.
All right.
I would like you. Do you have a picture of Jesse Boshears?
I believe we do.
A
Yes.
20-year-old American from the state of Arkansas. He was a football player at Arkansas Tech, resident of Perryville, Arkansas. Jesse was a very proud 6'3", 300-pound offensive lineman. Recently, when I say recently, before he got COVID, he recently proposed to his high school sweetheart. He was going to start playing football with Arkansas this past September. Unfortunately, in July of 2021, Jesse, photoed here prior to COVID, Jesse contracted COVID and battled it for 7 months before passing away. He tested positive on June 28th, 2021. He was the very next day admitted into the hospital as he was battling symptoms. Over the course of the next 7 months, Jesse fought for his life. His mother, who is a radiological technologist, sat there, gave people updates. Jesse was a proud anti-vaxxer prior, was not going to be told what to do and whatnot. However, it just kept going on and on. The most ironic thing about all of this is that his mother was consistently posting anti-vaccine stories on Facebook as Jesse was battling COVID, unvaccinated, in a hospital. All leading up to the most tragic news. And there were ups and downs where he would, get better. He was able to regain consciousness. They were taking him off the forced sedation. Unfortunately, then he's required a tracheotomy. I mean, this kid put up the fight of his life. Unfortunately, Jesse passed away late last month.
At the age of 20, I believe, correct?
So young, just such an unnecessary loss.
Without a doubt. That is an impressive dead anti-vaxxer of the week. If I may, Brian, bring my own to the table. This young woman right here is a woman by the name of Jennifer Rowe, age 36, from Knoxville, Tennessee. She worked as a care coordinator for a company that provides proton therapy for advanced cancer treatment. She was a type 1 diabetic from the age of 12. She was also in need of a kidney transplant. So let's think about this here. Working for a company with advanced cancer medical treatment, taking insulin for her diabetes, in line to receive a kidney and a pancreas transplant, and yet she did not believe in vaccines. And this goes back to even prior to the COVID vaccine. She's been posting anti-vax memes from all the way back in 2017 and 2018. Her mother, Gail, also a staunch anti-vaxxer, posting just hundreds of anti-vax memes throughout the entire pandemic. In January of 2022, Jennifer has a stroke. She ends up being hospitalized for 2 weeks. She then contracts COVID, ends up with COVID pneumonia, and is in the ICU in early February, is placed on a ventilator, on and off. Of course, her mother, Gail, insistent that she doesn't need the vaccine. She just needs some Jesus, because Jesus will cure all. But unfortunately, Jesus apparently does not cure all in this case, because on February 28th, Jennifer passing away at the age of 36. So 2 young people passing away way too young.
Question for you.
Yes.
Was it the kidney problems? Was it the diabetes, you said?
Diabetic, needed a kidney transplant. Yes.
So diabetic, kidney problems, and then COVID. which of those ailments created the facial paralysis on the right side of her face?
That I can't tell you.
Because as you can clearly see, she's smiling as hard as she can in this photo. She probably just read a story about how vaccines are bad for you, but is unable on that side of her face to show any type of facial movement. I mean, heartbreaking. Somehow you left that part out.
Sorry, I did leave that part out. My apologies. Well, regardless, Brian, she is our dead anti-vaxxer of the week.
Dead AntiVaxxer of the week.
Now, one thing I will say, which is interesting, we did post our dead anti-vaxxers of the week last week up on our TikTok account. For some reason, Brian, TikTok felt that yours was way too spicy and took yours down, whereas mine is still up on the on our TikTok account. Which again, if you are not following us on TikTok, please do. We're at the Ron and Brian Podcast, all one word. Not Ron and Brian Podcast, that is some impersonator out there, but the Ron and Brian Podcast. So again, follow us on TikTok for the stuff that they determine is not too spicy and bullying to leave up on our account.
Wait a second. Hold on. Time out. You're
Yeah.
telling me that we posted both anti-vaxxers of the week last week.
Correct.
And
separately.
TikTok took mine down for bullying, but left yours up?
I believe so. Let me just double check and make sure I'm getting this correct. It says, yes, community guidelines violation removed for harassment and bullying. I attempted to appeal it, and it said, sorry, it was determined that your content violates our community guidelines and cannot be restored.
So even after a review of it, they still felt that I violated their terms?
Yeah, that is correct. Yes.
Wow. I don't think I said anything that was inappropriate.
And I don't know why yours gets taken down and mine, which was of a similar topic, was left up. Very
Anti-Semitism, clearly.
Yeah. Although someone did comment on my TikTok saying that we are just shitty people.
We are. I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, we can't really argue that.
Did you ask them if they've been vaccinated or not?
I did not respond to that.
Should I respond to my personal account because we don't want to get banned for trolling online?
If you would like.
Think I might. Kind of my fun. That's my wheelhouse.
All right. What do we want to move to, Brian? We got a lot to go over this week. Is there anything in particular you'd like to start off with?
I would like to start off with a what would Ron do?
Oh, we all love what would Ron do. So, Brian, ask away.
This is an ongoing bit, not weekly because we don't want to force it. But throughout life, I find myself facing challenges, moral quandaries, dilemmas. I am faced with choices. I have options.
This has gotta stop.
Anyway, Brian, what is your question?
The whole idea with this bit is that I am faced with a dilemma of what should I do? I am not sure what I should do. I take a path, but I think to myself, what would Ron do? And then I bring it to the show. I give Ron a status, a breakdown of what took place, and then I ask him what he would do.
Okay.
All right. So, recently I requested an Uber.
Okay.
I am walking out of the building, and I am walking towards where the Uber map shows the car waiting for me. Directly behind where I believe this car is a undercover cop car. It looks like a regular Ford,
Okay.
something. It's an American car, but it's got the red and white blinking lights where the normal lights are on a car. So you can clearly see this is a cop car.
Sure.
So I walk by it and I see two cops sitting in the front seat. I pass the car. I approach my Uber, knock on the window, walk in, sit down. Hello there. My chipper, how I am.
Yeah.
And the guy says, "Oh, it's going to be a couple minutes. The police officers are giving me a ticket for passing a red light, which I didn't do." Turn around. Yep, they're sitting there. They're doing what they do. 1 minute goes by. 2 minutes goes by. I will not drag this out any longer than it needs to be.
Really?
I would say conservatively, I sat there for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Before the police officer approached the car and gave the driver the ticket along with his registration and license.
Right.
The Uber driver then drove me home, and I felt compelled to give him a larger tip than normal because I knew that he was now out of a certain amount of money to pay for this ticket.
Right.
I told this story to someone, and they said, "You should have just canceled the ride, gotten out of the Uber, and gotten a different Uber." And I thought about it, but it was so awkward sitting in the car that I felt like I was what's the right way to phrase this? I felt like I would be abandoning somebody in need in that moment, and I didn't have the heart to do it. So I sat there for way too long. I mean, it was an unacceptable amount of time. I probably could have gotten home in the amount of time that we waited.
Right.
Slight exaggeration, but you know what I'm getting at. So, what would Ron have done?
That's a tough one because you're there, you're in the back seat. And again, people are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So you got to give him the. I probably would have done the same thing. Like, I think had it gone much longer than 10 minutes, I probably would have been like, all right, I need to get where I'm going. But yeah, I think I would have played this one out the way that you did as well.
Yes.
Very proud.
All righty. Thank you.
Very proud of you. That was a pretty easy. What would Ron do?
Well, I mean, usually they're like watching a homeless person scream at someone. What would Ron do? I mean, but like,
Right.
but like this one was just one of those where, I felt every minute that went by, I was further invested in staying in here. I just couldn't get up and leave.
No, I think again, I think you done good.
Thank you very much. Speaking of doing good, Ron, you've got a very big. This was a big weekend for you.
It was a big weekend. So Trolley, the foster dog, went to her forever home this past Wednesday. Her new mom picked her up. She is doing well. But now we have a new foster inside the house, going the cat route now. This here is Cotton. He is a male cat. I think he's probably 4 or 5 years old, orange and white, long hair, no tail. Craziest thing. He's just got like this little nub of a tail. Don't know if he was born that way or if he got injured when he was younger. So this poor young man was living with an 80-year-old who had to be hospitalized, will not be coming home. And a relative took this cat in. The relative's cats were not getting along with this cat. So Cotton was relegated to the basement. So we are now fostering him until he finds a new home. So we actually have a couple of meet and greets already set up for Cotton. He is a sweetheart of a cat. You had an opportunity to
absolutely
hang with him this weekend.
Absolutely. He had, I visited the room where you are acclimating him slowly into your home. I walked over to him. He jumped up to get closer. I rubbed his head after letting him smell me. He rubbed himself against me. I noticed he had some loose hair, so I picked them off. I didn't realize I would be picking cotton today.
Bum.
Damn, I've been waiting for that moment for about 12 minutes. But very friendly cat. Whomever is the lucky family, the lucky home that gets to take Cotton home will be very, very pleased. And once again, I know I laid it on thick last week, but I think it's absolutely incredible what you and your wife are doing now. It seems like you're getting more invested in the fostering of these animals. And And I just think it's such an incredible way to make a creature's life more comfortable, and during a period of time where right now they could be locked in a cage with, surrounded just by metal and newspaper, and other animals in distress. Instead, they're enjoying suburban Philadelphia. They may not be eating cheesesteaks or hoagies, but they are drinking water. And I just think it's a great thing that you're doing.
Well, thank you. Janelle's asking how the cats are doing with him. So we just we were keeping him in a separate room for the last day and a half, just so everybody could get used to each other. He is out now, and everybody's getting along so far. So knock on wood, that'll continue.
I will say this, and I'm not sure why, but this visit that I just had, and we'll discuss the purpose for that visit. This visit was the most accepted I have been by your cats.
They're used to you now. So
I would say there were about 3 cats that approached me for the first time this visit, expecting head scratches, rib cage pats, and overall little nose scratches, and a couple boops. And they all got him. All got him.
They did. Brian, can we play this Wheel of Fortune video? Because this was one of the more enjoyable moments of the internet this past week.
And I haven't seen this. I've seen articles about it. I've seen interviews with the people that are involved, but I have not seen this video. So I'll be watching this for the first time.
So just to set this up, it was on Wheel of Fortune earlier this week. People were the puzzle should have been solved, and so it was a case of there's like only a few letters left. People not being able to solve the puzzle. People hitting bankrupt. People hitting lose a turn. It is the craziest 2 minutes of Wheel of Fortune video that you will probably see this week.
Okay. Another feather in your cap.
So you're right, Brian. Another feather in your cap. She says another feather in your hat. This guy spins.
That's one wrong.
Letter that's just not even in there. G. No G in that. No G in that.
No, he was a G. He's saying that he's a G.
He's a stone cold G. This guy, bankrupt, loses all his money. Now it's back to the woman who did her initial.
He deserves to be bankrupt for that shitty mustache.
Another feather in your lap.
Another feather in your lap. No.
Oh my God.
Nope. So Christopher is going to spin now. Let's see if he can get a letter. No D. Picks 4 letters left. He can't get it.
Well, he wants the D, apparently.
Poor guy with the bad mustache gets to lose.
Oh.
Now we're back to the woman. Let's see if she can guess again.
Go ahead and spin if you don't know. I'm going to go ahead and spin. Don't get buzzed out here on time.
Now she'll get a letter this time.
A P? Yes.
By the way, this is great for the audio version.
Yes, I know.
So a P.
I will solve. Okay. Another feather in your map.
Map. Another
Oh,
feather.
you fucking idiot. Oh.
So this gentleman spins again. Bankrupt. Doesn't get a chance to do anything.
Because he wanted the
Look
D
how
earlier.
He really shouldn't be buttoning that jacket until he drops a few pounds.
That's terrible.
Then Thomas finally gets the letter C and solves the puzzle.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy.
I always felt that a Wheel of Fortune was the dumb man's version of Jeopardy. Like Jeopardy was for the intellectuals.
Right.
Wheel of Fortune was for the people that were non-intellectuals but wanted to have the opportunity to feel smart.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Let's get to some news this week, Brian. The Supreme Court on Friday reinstated the death penalty for convicted Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev.
Close.
Tsarnaev, yeah. The 6-3 vote comes after a federal appeals court threw out his sentence back in July of 2020, ruling that a trial judge improperly excluded evidence that may have shown Dzhokhar was influenced by his late older brother. Brian, your
I don't think
thoughts
there.
on
Okay, this is where the legal system just gets tossed in terms of logic. Because I think it absolutely was that he was influenced by his older brother. I don't think that it is a waiver of legal responsibility to say that you were influenced by somebody else. It is completely illogical to me that that someone's guilty verdict would be tossed because there wasn't enough evidence that he was taking advice and guidance from somebody else. And at the same time, excuse me, it's absolutely clear this kid deserves a death penalty. This kid's guilty. He hid in a fucking boat. If you're not guilty, you do not hide in a boat. That's all I'm saying.
that? Is
You know who else?
interesting
You
take.
know who else hid in a boat?
I don't know who else hid in a boat.
Andrew Cunanan.
Who is that?
He's the guy that killed not Gucci. I fucked it up. The guy that killed Versace. Wasn't that Andrew Cunanan?
You went a little too deep for me there.
You're telling me you don't remember Andrew Cunanan?
I don't remember Andrew Cunanan. I remember Versace.
He's the guy that went on a
Versace
murder.
being killed.
Wait a second. Did you? What was the TV show that they did on the killing of Versace? I was correct, by the way. It was Andrew.
They did an American Crime Story on the Versace.
That's it. You didn't watch American Crime Story that season?
I did not. I'm sorry.
It's the only season I watched. And basically, what the idea is that he is a gay guy. And the story is that he actually is gay. I'm not just calling him gay, but he's a gay guy who goes on a murder spree, where he basically was one of these people who was poor but needed to pretend and sell the concept to the world that he was rich. So he basically was hooking up with these wealthy guys and then killing them, goes on a murder spree from like Minneapolis all the way down to South Florida, shoots Versace on the steps of Versace's home, and then finds himself trapped on Miami Beach, unable to get off the island because they shut down all the bridges, and finally broke into a houseboat where he stayed for several days before committing suicide as the police were raiding the houseboat. But people who hide on boats when the cops are coming after them, always guilty.
That is very interesting, Brian. I was not aware of that.
I know you like to believe that I'm dumb. I know you like to believe that I'm stupid. I know you like to think that I'm not that I'm a commoner, that I don't have your high class of knowledge and whatnot. I know a lot of shit, Ron.
You do.
A lot of
you
things.
do. I would never argue that, my friend. Would never argue that. Can we talk about the Texas politician that had to drop out due to the ISIS?
Well, hold up. No. You never told us about your thoughts about the Supreme Court and the death penalty for Dzhokhar Tsarnaev.
So it is. I mean, again, I agree with you. I think he deserves to die. It is interesting. This did split along lines. All 6 conservative justices voted to reinstate the death penalty, with the 3 liberal justices dissenting, primarily because they don't want to set the precedent of the Supreme Court continuously overruling appeals courts.
Okay.
But if that were the case, why would we need the Supreme Court? So I don't know that I agree with that argument.
That's a valid comment. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Listen, I know you think I'm dumb, Brian, but I know things. I'm smart. I know things.
I hate it when you mock me. I hate when you mock me. Let's go, but now continuing in the legal vein.
Yeah.
Can we talk about this judge?
Well,
in Texas?
This is a congressman, not a judge. It's a congressman running for re-election. A gentleman by the name of what the hell is his name?
Jerkoff. Charlie Jerkoff.
Representative Van Taylor. So he was running for re-election in Texas's 3rd congressional district. He is married with children, and he abruptly dropped his bid for re-election after admitting that he had an affair with a woman who has been described as an ex-jihadist ISIS bride. See the photo of Representative Taylor there, and the woman that he admitted to having the affair with, Tanya Joya. So apparently, Joya became very close with Taylor after meeting through her work, helping to reprogram extremists that she started after returning to the U.S. from Syria.
Why does he have the look on his face that he's on the phone with his wife trying to explain to her that this is not what it looks like, as he realizes that paparazzi are taking his photograph?
I do not know. So apparently, they started sexting with each other, and then an intimate physical relationship followed that lasted about 8 months. A supposed text message written by Taylor showed the elected official graphically describing sex acts he wanted to do with Joya. I was not able to get a copy of that text message. I'm sorry.
What?
And then
You're
towards
telling me you're bringing to the table that there's illicit text messages going on about sexual acts, and you're not going to tell me what they are?
I was not able to procure that. I'm sorry.
You have teased me for the last time, sir.
So anyway, towards the end of their affair, Joya asked Taylor for helping pay off some bills, and she claimed he agreed and gave her $5,000, but only if she kept quiet about the affair.
Whoa. So
yes.
you can have sex with a Republican congressman and then ask them for $5,000 and they'll just give it to you?
Apparently.
I'm doing this life thing all the wrong way. I have just it is just one after another of just bad I should be sleeping with nothing but with Republican congressmen, because first off, we know they like sexting.
Right.
You know, it's always nice, you pick up your phone, you hear a little ding or a ping, whichever term you would like to call it. You pick up your cell phone and it's someone saying, "Hey, this is what I want to do to your body. Tell me about your ex-husband who joined ISIS. And while you do that, I'm going to pull off my tighty." This guy definitely wears tighty whities. Do we agree on that?
Yeah, I think we can, without a doubt.
There is no way this man does boxers or boxer briefs. They are absolutely briefs, and absolutely are they white. I'm going to go Fruit of the Loom. Ron, tell me if you think I'm wrong on this one. But she's a pretty lady. Not going to lie. I don't know that if I was married that I would sit there and just throw it all away. I mean, let's face it. The last guy that she was with decided to join ISIS. So seriously speaking, what could a relationship with her lead to?
Not good things, especially when you're married with 3 daughters and trying to win a re-election campaign.
That's going to be some therapy down the line for those gals.
Yes, without a doubt. Brian, we enjoyed this spot last week. We decided to do it again. Local Facebook posts. Enjoying some posts we see in community Facebook pages. Would you like to start with yours?
Yeah, I'm going to go first because I believe you have a better one.
All right.
Last week you brought it. Okay, so I am a member of the Forest Hills Rego Park Facebook group. So our good friend Joanna Saab, and by the way, I use names. I name names. You, I believe you crossed out the names last week.
Yes.
But no, if you don't want your name used, don't be posting on the internet. That's my approach. If you want me to take it down, hit me up in my DMs or direct messenger. Right.
Yeah.
So Joanna Saab, we're going to call her Saab. It could be pronounced differently. It could be Saab. She posts, "Anyone know who can help me take my couch out of apartment to trash? Stairs are involved. Message me, please." So this woman is living in an apartment, has a couch that needs to be taken downstairs. Doesn't say one floor, one flight of stairs. Could be multiple.
Just the stairs are involved.
Could be 6 stories that she needs a couch taken out of. And she throws it up there. She's looking for help. Let's go to the next slide. Boom. Michael Perlman, who is the admin of the local Facebook group. He decides to get involved because I guess he felt she hadn't really provided enough information to accomplish her goal. So he says, Joanna, can you share a photo and can you donate it to somebody that it may be interested? I appreciate it most when furniture is reused to make other people happy. It's also greener. But no, Joanna's not done. And now she starts bringing some sass. She goes, I wish someone would just take it. I'm offering it free at this point, and no one's claiming it. Has to be out tomorrow. There's attitude here. So she starts with, does anybody want to help me drag down a couch? Now, keep in mind, the odds of her helping the dragging out of this couch, I'm going to say are nil. I'm going to say she is going to project manage the carrying out of this couch. Next slide, please. She's already throwing in some sass. Michael's like, hey, can you help us? Now Joanna puts up some photos. So now we see the couch. First off, it's appears to be brown.
It's actually basically it's the couch that I have here, just not in sectional version.
No, it can't be as nice as yours. And this one has absolutely semen stains all over it. I can see from the angle. All right, now some of the other people in the group decide they want to be helpful. They're like, hold on a second, let's try and help this lady out. Carla says, hey, do you have a handyman? Can you maybe offer to give him some money and he'll remove it for you? But there were other good options that were put forth. San Germa, I don't know if that's like Sirhan, same first name, last name, or whether San Germa just didn't want to use their first or last name. But San Germa says, hey, why don't you post your sofa on a local free site? Joanna, clearly doing a lot of research here, just goes, which? Putting no effort in whatsoever. There's no way this lady's going to carry it down. John Hossein jumps in and he actually links her to a Forest Hills group, Buy Nothing, which I believe you're quite familiar with the concept of. So let's go to the next one. Now, Just Blaze. Now, to me, that's not a real name. I can't prove it, but Just Blaze writes in, where are you located? Michael Perlman, remember, he's the admin. He goes, are you interested in keeping Joanna's couch? Just Blaze comes in with, nope. Now I realize, game on. So I jump in. I am not interested in this couch as I already have one, but I would like to know the resolution as I am now emotionally invested in this. Well, my good friend Debbie Metric, who I've never met before, never spoken to, don't even recognize the name. She decides she's going to get in on the fun too. I can recommend a good therapist in the neighborhood to me, which actually is good advice because I think I'm in the need of a therapist. So I write her, I say, do they do in-person appointments? I cannot fathom opening up to a Zoom screen. And Debbie, good for you, Debbie. She takes me seriously. I love that. She comes in with, actually, I don't know. Many are coming back to their offices for face-to-face, but she's still doing it electronically. Good for her. Next slide. Now, Ina Dwyer decides, let's bring it back to the couch if we possibly can. And she comes in with, maybe you know someone who is interested in this couch, tagging another member of the group who replies, yes, I do. And to wrap it all up, I come in with, let's have a happy ending to this one.
And is there any updates up to this point?
No, the post got taken down earlier this evening as I was updating it, which means that the couch could have been picked up. The couch could not have been picked up, or the original poster could have felt that the direction of the thread was not going in the vein having anything to do with the couch anymore to take it down.
All right.
Success.
Yes, very good. Yes.
Ron, what do you have from your local Facebook group?
Well, unfortunately, my original post got deleted before I got screenshots. Someone commented on Chef Vargas, one of our favorite restaurants, has gone cash only, which generated a lot of comments. One of which someone accusing the restaurant of stealing from the government, quote, like the Chinese. And then the comment thread just went down a rabbit hole, which is why it ended up getting deleted.
Come on, you got to do the screen cabs.
I was a little bummed out. But this one was a close second. So we have a woman, Gloria is her name. She wanted to get some pottery filed. fired? Do you know someone with a kiln who does this for others? So Norma hops in. There's a pottery establishment on West Avenue in Jenkintown, right across from the church. They offer classes and pieces you can paint yourself. So they must have a kiln. Not sure of it, but guessing.
What is a kiln?
A kiln is like a big oven that you heat up pottery. So that's how you set the clay.
Got it. Okay.
All right. Betsy, I'll ask some friends. Don't know
Betsy
why
has a lot of friends who have kilns.
Well, she's going to find out. Don't know
Oh.
why you have to say you're going to ask some friends. You should just ask friends. But 3 days later, Betsy follows up saying, Gloria, did you see my DM? And Gloria is like, no, I didn't. She says, sorry, I should have given you a heads up, Gloria. Gloria's like,
I feel like any of these texts should have ended with bitch.
Gloria's like, Betsy, you can message me anytime. The sexual tension you can cut with a knife at this point in this thread. So Betsy somehow tags Gloria twice in her response. Okay, but I thought I did through Facebook/Messenger. Since we're not directly friended, maybe it went into a holding folder. Take a look at Messenger. Somehow typing that upside down question mark at the beginning of that last sentence. I'm still not sure how she created that character.
How do you do that?
I have no idea.
She must.
This was the best comment of the thread. I have unfired ceramic art. This is Janice. Sorry. I have unfired ceramic art from my late husband. I wish I could remember if he always used clay that fired to cone 6 or not. I have some pieces that are bisque fired. It's
like
also,
lobster bisque?
I don't know. It's also fragile. IDK. My late husband left a lot of work behind. Not to mention an entire family, but never mind that.
Oh my God.
To which Gloria responds, that's what I have, unfired pieces. Does not even touch the late husband, leave an entire family behind comment.
Oh, fuck, this is beautiful.
So that is my local Facebook post this week to highlight.
Oh, I had so much fun trolling your Facebook group during the pandemic. I know we're talking about the pandemic being over and whatnot, but I had so much fun trolling that group.
I don't even know I can't even defend my neighborhood is what it comes down to.
But the beauty of your neighborhood is this, and I mean this genuinely, not sarcastically. There are genuinely a lot of people in your neighborhood that are good people, that are kind people, that are people looking to help others in need, that are willing to volunteer, go out of their way to donate to those that would benefit. And there are also people who are just complete utter assholes and trolls, and you get a nice mixture of the two, and in a way that, like, you can see a post with just the absolute utter best of intentions just go off onto this like absolute tangent,
right?
And it's like watching a train wreck about to happen.
Well, we will be keeping our eyes out for more future Facebook posts. Harvey Weinstein caught this past week with contraband milk duds. Actually, the story came out. He was caught with contraband milk duds back in November, prompting a reprimand from LA County jail guards. They were found during a search on November 10th after Weinstein had a face-to-face meeting with Sean Berkeley, one of his attorneys. Weinstein claimed to the guards that he had brought the milk duds with him when he was extradited from New York in July. So his initial story was he managed to hold on to milk duds for 4 months in jail without them being found and without him eating them. But he then apologized for the incident later on.
Well, I think what's interesting is the fact that the sheriff's office says that they believe that it was snuck in by his lawyers.
Correct. So now his lawyers apparently will have their legal binders and laptop bags searched on future visits. The interesting thing is Weinstein has a number of health issues, including diabetes, that he is dealing with. Can't imagine the milk duds would help that too much.
You know, to me, okay, yeah. So he's got a sweet tooth. We know he's locked up. So, he has a limited access to sweets and what. To me, I'm just surprised that the request to his, to whomever it was, can you sneak some milk duds in when there are so many far better sweet products and candy that you could get. What I mean? Like, I wouldn't even know where to start in terms of what type of candy one would be able to ask for that could be better than a milk dud. I mean, there's such a plethora of different types of candy that
This sign's gotta stop.
You put that damn Reese's away. Moving on. So a Mexican football league has suspended play for the season after a match turns into a bloodbath. Up to 17 fans killed and at least 26 injured after fights break out in the stands as supporters beat up rivals and strip them naked.
Did you watch the videos?
I did not watch the videos.
Oh,
No.
I watched all of them. Holy shit. So it starts off as just a fucking soccer game.
Right.
And it just gets so out of control that the fighting that starts between the fans of the two rival teams gets to the point where the referee calls a timeout. Is that really, he stops play? Well,
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be
he
appropriate.
stops play because there's so much fighting in the stands. People are using weapons. The fighting actually leads on to the field, at which point the two teams flee for their safety. At this point, people start leaving the stadium as the game has been canceled. Now the fighting is taking place outside of the stadium, where now people have access to metal objects. So so literally there's video of just people being brutalized. I saw videos of people getting hit in the heads with pipes, chairs, shit like that. I don't understand that. I was hoping you actually did watch some of the videos, but maybe you could explain it to me. But absolutely, I understand that we are human beings, and at the end of the day, we are animals. We'd like to believe that we are better than animals. We like to believe that we have access to rational and logical thought, which would lead us to not lead to acts of savagery and whatnot.
Sure.
But clearly, when a mob mentality takes off, people start doing things they wouldn't normally do. What I don't understand is you're beating somebody up. They're a fan of a different team. They're a member of a different gang. They're in a neighborhood they shouldn't be. Why? Where is the source of the urge to pull down this man's pants and underwear?
That is where my question was coming. Is I get beating somebody up. I guess perhaps stripping them naked is like maybe really stripping them of their dignity. Like, beating someone up is one thing, but beating them up to the point where you can strip them naked in public, I think takes that to an entirely different level.
But now you're being forced to stare at their limp, hairy penis.
Listen,
Like,
I'm not saying
I don't want to
agree
see a
with
limp,
it.
hairy penis. If
Right,
if
I'm
I
not saying
wanted
agree
to, I
with
would
it.
just look down.
I'm just saying that that's my only thought process.
If I'm beating somebody up, I'm not thinking to myself, I wonder what their penis looks like. No, I'm not taking this guy's clothes off.
But to be fair, you
Any
probably also
circumstances?
would not attend a soccer game.
That's not true. I
No?
did attend a soccer game when I was in Argentina.
Did you beat anybody up or strip anybody naked?
No, I was warned by multiple people not to go. The rival fans were throwing cherry bombs at each other. There were no riots, but people were definitely hurt at the game. And otherwise, it was a fascinating experience. I will die knowing that I watched Diego Maradona play on the pitch.
Nice. Very nice. What else do you have this week, Brian? What else would you like to discuss before we wrap things
Hold
up?
on there. I feel like we didn't even address what's going on in the Ukraine.
We didn't. There is still, obviously, Russia is still invading Ukraine. They have taken over some territories, some cities. Ukraine's still putting up a fight. I've seen various videos of Russian helicopters and jets that were shot down. MasterCard and Visa suspended operations after a plea from President Zelensky to help them. Apparently now people are reaching out to Elon Musk, asking him to disable all Teslas that are operating within Russia, which, if you think about it, is kind of frightening that a company would have the ability to just shut your car off depending on where you are.
Well, I think I think there's a couple. One, I think I am personally surprised with the with how universal the anti-Russian sentiment is right now throughout the world.
Yes.
It is the number of Russian entities globally that are being quote unquote canceled. Um, the sanctions, the effects of the sanctions, and I remember saying like these sanctions are going to do nothing. But we spoke about it last week. Their economy is literally imploding. Due to the fact that they are now unable to do any international financing. They're not right now, people who have Apple products are not able to use their phones and whatnot, as Apple's no longer servicing their products. Now MasterCard and Visa are saying if you want to use a credit card in Russia right now, good luck. We want nothing to do with it. The support of Ukraine seems almost universal. I wish there was something that I could do. Unfortunately, the only thing that I was offered was that I could let a Ukrainian refugee family come stay with me in my spare bedroom. Unfortunately, I watched Netflix's Worst Roommate Ever, episodes 1 and 2 over the weekend, and I will be not taking in any roommates to ensure that I do not have to deal with a squatter or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, fuck Russia right now. Fuck them in their face, in their hands. If you could drill a tracheotomy hole and fuck them through there. But it's the invasion of a country under false pretense. It's happening. Putin knows that the international community is weak and will do nothing. In terms of, I mean, they won't even do a no-fly zone over Ukraine. Because we are more afraid of World War III than Putin is, and he knows it, and that's why he's invaded. And he knows we are not going to do anything that might instigate a confrontation with Russia. And my heart goes out to the Ukrainians. I wish there was something I could do.
What also is going on, I just saw this news story earlier. So there is WNBA player Brittany Griner is apparently been detained in Russia since last month. She was attempting to, I believe, leave the country. She was going through customs, and customs officials said that they found hashish oil in her luggage when she was at an airport near Moscow last month.
They've got video of it. Cartridges. It was weed cartridges that you would smoke from a vaporizer pen. And I thought she was going into Russia, but apparently she was trying to leave Russia with her vape pen. And what's interesting is that the U.S. State Department has said, do not go to Russia right now because you are likely going to face some type of interference, either entering or leaving. So I think the theory here is they're saying that maybe that was planted on her and that they are holding her against her will under false pretense. It's a scary situation. All the more reason to just stay at home.
Yes. Except for you, Brian. You came down to Philadelphia this weekend.
For you, buddy, for you.
Always great to see you. We had a fantastic dinner last night at Del Frisco.
First off, hold on a second. Before you talk about the dinner, let's talk about why I came down to visit you.
Please, you humble me, my friend.
Listen, once a year, there's this does not happen often. It actually happens once a year. Every spin of the cycle, when the earth goes by the sun, we get to celebrate Ron's birth. The man has been on this planet for a finite period of time. We need to celebrate his existence. We do it on a daily basis, but the day that matters most is his birthday, which happens to be tomorrow.
Correct.
So everybody, on Monday, March 7th, I urge you to please reach out to Ron on any form of social media and wish him a happy birthday. So, so with his birthday being a Monday and not having the available time to take off, also knowing that his wife couldn't take the day off or Ron couldn't take the day off, I decided, well, then I'm coming down over the weekend. And what did I say to you? Where do you want to eat?
True, very true. And I said,
and what did you say?
I said, let's go to Del Frisco's steakhouse.
Walk us through the meal.
I mean, it was fantastic. Appetizers. We started off with some of their house-made bacon with molasses and black pepper, some deep fried lobster tails, and the Kobe meatballs, which were phenomenal. Had each of us had a nice cut of steak. I believe you had the filet.
I want the 12-ounce filet.
Yep. My wife had the filet trio that was on special. I had a nice ribeye, and we had we had creamed spinach, crab fried rice, and lobster mac and cheese on the side.
You know, I forgot this. I forgot the crab fried rice. I thought we had. I couldn't remember what the third appetizer was. I guessed, and it said it was the creamed corn because I remember your wife saying she wanted the creamed corn. But you're right. We had the crab fried rice.
We did. And then since it was my birthday, they gave me some chocolate mousse for dessert.
Yes.
Just phenomenal. Followed that up with breakfast this morning at Chef Vargas. Cash only, as we now know from Elkins Park Happenings. But
don't be racist.
Just great. You had their special. What was it? Was chicken and waffle eggs?
It was the chicken and waffles Benedict with a poached egg on top of the chicken and waffles. To die for. It was one of the few things I've eaten in a while that I sat there and I was like, this is worthy of the gram.
There you go. And I had chilaquiles, and I believe my wife had their creme brulee French toast. So just, again, a great time seeing you as always, and then just some great meals as well.
Happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I think we've done it again. I think we've done yet another spectacular episode. I think it's time to wrap up and get ready for After Dark. As we mentioned earlier, that will start at 9:30 like we do each and every Sunday. If you are Patreon subscribers at the bronze level or higher, you get to join us live. So if you go to ronandbrianpodcast.com, you can sign up right now. We will get you the link. Also, don't forget to go to TikTok, the Ron and Brian Podcast. Follow us. We're going to be putting more content up there. We'll be working on some exclusive content just for TikTok. So you're going to want to follow us. If we can get enough followers, eventually we'll probably use that as one of our live platforms as well. So everyone's got their marching orders, Brian.
I know what I have to do. You know what you have to do. And you at home, you know what you have to do. If I can say, you can. We spent a lot of time talking about war, and I don't have where's my quote? Oh, here, I got my quote.
Yep.
A man once said about this, he had this to say about war, and this is how I want to close out the show. If you win, you need not have to explain. If you lose, you should not be there to explain.
There you go. Do
you want to know who that man was?
Who was it, Brian?
Adolf Hitler.
I had a feeling. I don't know why. Had a feeling you were quoting Hitler.
I was.
Anything else this week, or do we just end on a Hitler quote?
End on the Hitler note. I love you, buddy.
Leave him wanting more. Love you too, my friend. We'll catch you all next week.
Thank you for joining us on the Ron and Brian Podcast. We're live each week on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can find prior episodes, links to our social media, and everything else Ron and Brian at ronandbrianpodcast.com. See